The world's most ruthless dictator. How does he govern his nation? What is daily life like in North Korea? Just imagining it might feel suffocating. The government tightly controls every aspect of its citizens' lives, where they live, what jobs they do, and even what they study. From clothing and hairstyles to the movies they watch, everything is dictated by the regime. Even your phone isn't truly yours. It can take random screenshots without your knowledge, keeping a constant watch over you. And that screenshot? It's sent straight to the government, ensuring they know exactly what you watch on your phone. In North Korea, punishment isn't limited to the guilty. Their children, and even grandchildren, can suffer for their crimes. This is the law of guilt by association. Families live in constant fear, unable to fully trust even their own parents, siblings, or children. Yet, despite this oppressive control, cracks are beginning to form in Kim Jong-un's iron grip. North Korea is home to about 25 million people. On a world map, you'll find it just above South Korea, with a massive presence of China to its west. But if you look at a satellite image of the region at night, you'll notice something striking. While China and South Korea glow with lights, North Korea remains engulfed in darkness. This is the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, DPRK, a name that ironically includes the word democratic. But as history has shown, simply calling a nation democratic doesn't make it one. In North Korea, people can't read at night, can't watch TV, and many go to sleep as early as 7 p.m., not by choice, but because they have grown used to living in the dark. Back in 1995, something unusual happened. The frog population in North Korea began to decline. The reason? Starving citizens had started hunting frogs for food. The famine between 1995 and 1998 became one of the worst man-made disasters in history. The exact death toll was never disclosed, but estimates suggest that between 500,000 and 2 million people perished from starvation. But here's the surprising part. North Korea wasn't always like this. There was a time when North Korea was more prosperous than South Korea. In 1980, its per capita GDP was higher than both India and China. The government provided free healthcare, education, housing, heating, and transportation to its citizens. Between 1950 and 1980, North Korea's GDP grew at an impressive rate of 4.5% per year. But everything changed in the 1990s with the collapse of the Soviet Union. In Moscow, the hammer and sickle is lowered for the last time, and an era comes to an end. The USSR had been North Korea's economic lifeline, supplying cheap oil and food. But after its dissolution, North Korea's economy crumbled. Power stations shut down, electricity disappeared, and food shortages turned into mass starvation. The USA offered aid on the condition that North Korea dismantle its nuclear weapons program. But the regime refused. As a result, the USA and the rest of the world isolated them. Then, in August 1995, devastating floods struck. North Korea had neither cash nor credit to recover. Yet, instead of making compromises to save its people, the government chose pride over survival. Year after year, the crisis deepened, but the regime remained focused not on solutions, but on covering up the truth. North Korea's capital, Pyongyang, is designed to be a showcase of stable socialism. To maintain this illusion, the government removed all homeless and starving people from the city. While ruling party members in Pyongyang enjoyed privileges, the situation in the rest of the country was dire. In rural areas, starvation was widespread. In his book, The Great North Korean Famine, Andrew Natsios described how families, facing impossible choices, let their elderly relatives starve to death so that younger family members could survive. Many grandparents voluntarily stopped eating so their children and grandchildren could live. This happened because North Korea was and remains a totalitarian dictatorship. The origins of North Korea's dictatorship. After World War II, when the USA, Britain, and the Soviet Union defeated Japan and Germany, Japan's occupation of the Korean peninsula came to an end. The USA and the USSR divided Korea into two separate nations. The North fell under Soviet influence, while the South aligned with the USA, just as Germany was split into East Soviet-controlled and West US-controlled. Following Soviet ideology, North Korea became a communist state, and Kim Il-sung, a guerrilla leader who had fought against Japan, became its first supreme leader. Since then, the Kim family has ruled North Korea like a dynasty. Today, Kim Il-sung's grandson, Kim Jong-un, holds absolute power. But calling North Korea a communist dictatorship isn't entirely accurate. It's a family-led dictatorship. Every decision the government makes is aimed at maintaining the Kim family's rule. Extreme government control. The government micromanages every aspect of life. Where people live, what jobs they do, where they study, what they watch on TV, which websites they can access, where they can travel, even their hairstyles. Education and military service. Education is officially free and mandatory until high school, But in reality, there's little actual education. Teachers focus on students only after receiving bribes. Wealthy families hire private tutors to ensure their children get ahead. It's a privilege to be allowed to live in Pyongyang, and even greater privilege for your kids to attend an institution like this. There are few authentic videos of North Korean schools. The ones available are carefully staged, showing only elite institutions the government wants the world to see. After high school, family connections and bribery often determine college admissions. And after graduation, military service is compulsory for men, lasting up to 10 years. North Korea's political system, a dictatorship disguised as democracy. Despite being a dictatorship, North Korea holds parliamentary elections every 5 years. However, these elections are purely symbolic. Only candidates from the ruling Workers' Party are allowed to contest each seat. Voting against the government is considered treason. That's why North Korea reports a voter turnout of over 99.9%. Every citizen is required to vote, making the election system more of an unofficial census than a democratic process. It's just another tool for the regime to maintain control. Government control over personal appearance. In North Korea, even your appearance is strictly controlled by the government. Hairstyles, only 15 approved hairstyles are allowed for men and 15 for women. If you want a haircut, you must choose from this list. Kim Jong-un's haircut, interestingly, his own hairstyle, is not on the approved list. No one else is allowed to copy his look. The same rule applies to his glasses. Hair dyeing is banned. North Koreans cannot color their hair. Clothing restrictions. Blue jeans, ripped jeans, and skinny jeans are banned. Branded clothes are not allowed, as they are seen as symbols of Western influence. Women cannot wear tight dresses, short skirts, or sun hats. Red lipstick and excessive makeup are also prohibited. Only minimal makeup is permitted. Why does the government control fashion? Hearing about these extreme restrictions, you might wonder, why does the North Korean government care so much about fashion? The reason is fear. The regime sees fashion as a cultural invasion. They believe that Western capitalist influence could corrupt their citizens. If people start admiring foreign trends, they might stop admiring their own country. That's why the North Korean government takes this issue so seriously. Lack of progress and strict travel restrictions. In North Korea, the development of new products and services for ordinary citizens is almost non-existent. While countries around the world are making advancements in technology, AI, and innovation, North Korea remains stagnant in nearly every sector. Another key aspect of totalitarian control is the severe restriction on movement. North Koreans cannot freely travel within their own country. To move from one city to another, they must get government permission and provide a valid reason. The rules are even stricter for those who wish to leave the country. No one can travel abroad without government approval. Leaving North Korea without permission is considered treason. The punishment doesn't just affect the escapee, their entire family can face. Forced labor camps. Torture. Life imprisonment. Even execution. Despite the deadly consequences, many North Koreans risk their lives to escape, most attempting to flee to China. The land border with China is easier to cross compared to the heavily fortified border with South Korea. However, China is a dictatorship too, and its government does not support North Korean defectors. Instead, they capture and deport them back to North Korea, knowing the brutal fate that awaits them. For example, in 2023, China deported around 500 North Korean escapees back to their country. Entertainment in North Korea, a tool for propaganda. In North Korea, foreign movies and TV shows are completely banned. The only available entertainment consists of government-controlled TV and radio channels, which serve as propaganda tools to glorify the regime. The day begins with government-controlled broadcasts, starting with the national anthem and tributes to former rulers. Cartoons, news programs, and documentaries present Kim Jong-un as a heroic figure, often in exaggerated, over-the-top narratives, similar to how global celebrities spark fan frenzies. There is no independent media, and everything shown on TV is designed to reinforce loyalty to the government. Severe punishment for watching foreign content. Watching foreign media, especially South Korean shows and movies, is a serious crime. In 2022, 2 teenagers were sentenced to 12 years of hard labor for watching and distributing a South Korean drama. In another 2022 case, a young man was publicly executed for sharing South Korean films and music. Imagine a child being jailed for 12 years just for watching a movie. This is the harsh reality of North Korea, the secret underground market for foreign shows. Despite strict punishments, the lack of entertainment has led to a thriving black market for foreign content, mainly South Korean dramas and films. DVDs were once the main source of illegal entertainment. People used old Chinese DVD players to watch foreign content. To catch offenders, government authorities randomly cut off electricity. This would trap DVDs inside players, giving authorities an excuse to raid homes and check what people were watching. Over time, people adapted. USB sticks replaced DVDs, making it easier to hide content. North Koreans now watch foreign content on Chinese-made video players called Notels, which can play videos from USB drives. Watching movies in secret requires extreme caution. People close their windows, turn off lights, and keep the volume barely audible to avoid detection. Even without internet access, North Koreans are finding ways to consume foreign entertainment despite the risks involved. Internet in North Korea, a digital prison. In North Korea, internet access is extremely restricted and heavily monitored. Strict regulations on internet use. To access the internet, citizens must get special government permission. Even with permission, a librarian is assigned to monitor every 2 users, ensuring they don't browse anything unauthorized. Every 5 minutes, the computer screen freezes. And to continue, the librarian must verify access using their fingerprint. Each session lasts only 1 hour, and further access requires additional government approval. A government-controlled intranet. For the general population, there is no real internet. Instead, North Korea has an internal, heavily censored intranet. This intranet consists of a few government-approved websites, carefully selected to ensure strict control over information. Social media does not exist, and the few available sites only contain government propaganda. Internet access is so expensive that most people cannot afford to use it. Surveillance through smartphones. The smartphones available in North Korea are heavily censored. International calls are completely banned. At random intervals, the phone's operating system takes screenshots, which are automatically sent to the government. This allows authorities to monitor every activity on a person's phone without their knowledge. In North Korea, technology is not a tool for progress, but a means of absolute control. So this is called the real dictatorship.